Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing some booking engine work. So if you weren't here last time, I'm going to do a quick recap and walk you through, well, what we were doing. So let me open Linear to the right account, switch workspace. There we go. Here we go. We are back. We are on the right thing. So projects. Where is it hiding? Here it is up there. Favorites. So we are working on something called Tranquil Stay, which is a hotel booking system for a single hotel, which allows guests to check in and check out. Got a management interface. Going to be a support interface later, maybe. We'll play around with that. Some basic authentication. Going to have some payment integration. We're going to have lots of stuff kind of all happening in this one application. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking. Instead, we're going to focus in on the code, as I like to do, and we will just jump into it. Done a little bit of work since last time, but not a lot. So let me just walk you through anything that I have done. So migrations, nothing new within there. All I've done really is some of the kind of filament stuff. So if I come back to Arc and just go to admin, what we're going to do, we're going to log in. And we have now got like amenities, bookings, buildings, floors, rooms, and support documents. Rooms, you can see we've got a count of rooms. Bookings, we've got a count there. We've got icons for each one, amenities. We can start to see what's going on. We can come look at bookings, look at the buildings. You can see a specific building, come view that building. You can edit the building, blah, 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 usual stuff. Floors, we got floors. We can click to view it. We can edit it. We can do lots of fun stuff. Then rooms. You'll see now we've got badges here for each type, whether it's accessible, the view that it's got, the name, size, sleeps, daily rate, weekly rate, what floor it's on. Then if you click through, you can then see, you can see what amenities it's got, what bookings are for it, and what floor it belongs to. Then support documents, we've just got question, answer, tags, something relatively simple that we're going to work on a little bit later. Then the other thing that I did when I find out where I am, I started to build out a state machine. I spoke about this on Twitter, and Jake Bennett did an absolutely fantastic job at Laracon. Jake Bennett, Laracon US state machines. This one. I was going to share this video. I'm not going to play it because that'll just be really annoying. Grab that. And I'm just going to close that again. There we go. Come back to here. So this video specifically is what I'm talking about. It is absolutely fantastic. Might add it in the description a little bit later. It is really, really useful for just understanding state machines. If you've never used them before, it's a fantastic talk, 100%. Go check it out. Pause this and come back to me later, but go check out that video. It is amazing. So what I've done is, if I come to my booking, for example, there we go. If we scroll to the bottom, we have got this state here, which is going to return a base booking state machine, which implements a booking state contract. And then we just got a match statement based on the booking status being pending, confirmed, paid, checked in, checked out, cancelled, refunded, and finalized. So they're the different states of what our booking can be. Oh, what is state? That is a good question. What is state machines? So a state machine is basically, perfect example, a booking. It's got various states. It starts off when you submit that, when you first book something, it's going to go into like a pending state. Then an admin person will come through and will say, okay, so, checking all of the information. Is everything okay? Yes, we are happy to move forward with this booking. And then that is then confirmed. And it's just a column on the database. I'm using an enum, could be a string, could be an int. Don't do an int. Don't do an int. Use an enum or string. It's a bit easier. And what it will do is you can basically say, okay, I want to query all bookings that have got a status of this. Great. But what else can it do? How do we control the flow of logic on that particular booking? Now, Jake definitely explains it a hell of a lot better than me. But basically, what we want to be able to do is say, okay, so when it's pending, what can it do? So if I click on the pending state, it can move to confirmed. Okay, so when it's confirmed, it can either move to paid or cancelled. Once it's been paid, we can either check in or cancel. And if we go to cancel quickly, cancel can only be refunded right now. I might look at doing something like a rebooked or something, or rescheduled, but yeah, that's a really good explanation, actually. It's a pattern to make models aware of what actions can be used. So I'm not going to dive too deeply into it because I'm going to try and focus on the booking engine. But the booking engine did need the state machine kind of in place. I'm going to walk you through the basics of what I've done so far. So, invalid state exception, don't need that. So, if we come to our base booking state, what we do is we've got it's an abstract class, and what it does is it implements this booking state contract, which just says all the different states that it could potentially be. It could be pending, confirmed, paid, checked in, etc. Now, this all maps up to the booking status, which is here. Pending, confirmed, paid, checked in, checked out, cancelled, refunded, finalized. Straightforward so far, right? They all map together. Now, by default, these will never return in our base booking state. So we're just going to throw an invalid state exception and say that we cannot transition to the pending state, confirmed state, paid, checked in, checked out, cancelled, refunded, and finalized. It's our base state wants to be, no, you can't do anything. And then what we're doing on this booking is saying, okay, so if the status, which is an enum, is pending, then we don't want to return the base booking state. We want to return this pending state, which means that confirmed isn't going to actually never return. We're going to override this with logic to say this is what we want to do. And within here, we will update the state. We'll do stuff, and we'll probably be tweaking some of this a little bit later. But it's making our model aware of the behavior it's allowed to do. Anyway, close all those tabs. We will probably dive into that a little bit more in a little while. But we've got a state machines directory for reservations, and everything is all within here, all nicely tucked away. Perfect, right? Now, booking. I'm going to create a directory called booking engine. Now, this is going to be where everything kind of lives. Now, I'm going to create, within here, we're going to create a contract. And we're going to create a booking engine contract. Or actually, I'm just going to call it an engine contract for now. So this is our booking engine contract. So we've got to think about what do we want to be able to do within our booking engine. I just realized my camera's not on and I'm talking to it and doing hand signals and everything. Completely pointless. Let's just focus on what we're doing. Okay, so our booking engine, what do we want to do? We want to do things like, okay, so we're going to get a room passed in. And for this room, we want to say, is this room available on the dates selected? We also want to do things like, that's just checking availability. Hey, Samuel. And then what we're going to want to do is like book this room for this user on these dates. And that's pretty much it right now. We might add more for it a little bit later. We might do something like accept payment for this booking. Actually, I just realized that's quite small. Or this could be a payment service integration. This bit is unclear right now. Should the booking engine be responsible for that, or should that really be a payment service and the engine contract just kind of says, okay, just go do this for me, payment service, because I'm a booking engine. I don't care about payments. I just want to tell someone else to do something. So what we need is we need a public function and to say available between. Now, this booking engine, what we're going to want is this is going to have the booking, the room passed in. So we're going to have a property read, which is a room as room. So within here, we just want to return a bool, and we're going to have two dates, start and end. Now, I haven't used carbon intervals much, but I would be tempted to. For now, we're going to start with just a carbon interface. And go from there. So we want to check if a room is available between this date and that date. That simple. It's, yeah, really, really simple. So booking engine, now we can just create our engine class. Choo choo, Thomas the Tank Engine. So we're going to make sure that my device has been prioritized on the network. So it's not raining today, but I'm still having Wi-Fi issues, obviously. Right. So taking a while to prioritize this device. Right, where are we? There's my device. And we are going to click prioritize for 2 hours. There we go. Right, our engine is going to implement the engine contract. And for now, we're just going to have this kind of available between going on. Now, here we're going to have our constructor, which will accept a room. So private, read only, room, like that, and make that read only. Ooh. Right, okay, so what do we want to do here? Okay, so we want to say, we want to do something simple for now, like booking query, where between. Now let's have a look at that where between. Might have to go to Arc for this. Come to Laravel docs and just do a quick search on where between so that we make sure we get everything done properly. Oh, come on, internet. You can do it. Sometimes I feel like Welsh internet is just that little engine that could. Right, okay, so where between. There we go, where between. So Where between method verifies a column value is between two values. So come back to here. So column and iterable values. So the column that we want to focus on here is starts at, I believe. Let me go double check that one. Yep, starts at. And the values is going to be start and end. For now, let's just remove that ball and we'll just come back to it. So where between, so basically we want to say, date, but we've got starts at and ends at. So we'll have to do it slightly differently. So where between that and where between this. So column, I think this is right. It's been a while since I've done something like this, so please bear with me. Start and end. I like to put those trailing commas. And we can just do like a count. So we've got a where between, but we also want to make sure it's for this specific room. Where column, room ID, operator is equal to the value, this room ID. And we want to make sure we cast that to a Boolean. So maybe we can build that. There we go. So, right, time to read through it. What we are saying is we want to get all bookings for this room where the starts at is between the past and start and end, and the end that is between the start and end, and get a count. So do we have any? Yes or no? And from there, what we want to do is just do a quick check. Do we have availability for this room? So what I think maybe we should do here is start writing a test, perhaps. And for this, what we will do is come down to tests. I'm using pest call, so let's just remove that feature. We're going to create a booking feature, and we're going to create a, not a class, I'm using pest, booking engine test. So let's declare that, and we're going to say test that we can check the availability of a room. Function void, perfect. So what we need is we need a room with some bookings, basically. So room is room factory create. We've got our room. Then we want a booking. We're going to say booking factory for this room. I'm going to create it. We're going to pass through the starts at and the ends at. So we want to create a booking on a certain date so that we can check if it's got availability, right? So my mind is going in some direction or another. So we want to say, okay, so 15th of May for me. So we're going to say start set now, start of day. And I want to book this for 2 days. Now, add days 2. So at this point, we've got a booking, right? So we can expect that this room bookings count to equal 1. It's a bit of a pointless test, but we're going to stick with it. Let's just quickly test. Okay, so let's just open this composer.json and we will add that quickly. Work always messages when I'm live. Get that sent when I'm not. Right, so come up to scripts and we're just going to add some stuff in here. We're going to say pint, let's format it quickly. So we want to be able to allow that pint. So vendor bin pint. We want to run PHP scan. This is what I usually do straight away, but I didn't for this for some reason. I'm going to set that memory limit to be 3 gig. 3 gig by default. Then test is going to be PHP artisan test. Perfect. So compose the test. I'll do that. One's failed. Right. So now down to our PHP unit. For this, we want it in like in memory SQLite database. Close all those. Let's just make sure we're testing. Everything's working as we would want it to. And we're going to import that. And we're going to import this. Now, compose the test. Fantastic. Now that example test is just completely pointless. So delete that and add a git ignore for now, or git keep, or whichever one I'm thinking about in the back of my mind. So back to this booking engine. So at this point, we know we've got something. So we can get the engine, which is a new engine, which is the booking engine, and the room is the room. So we've got our booking engine and we can do stuff with it. So expect engine available between this and that. And this to be a Boolean as a first check. That is all good. So we expect this to be true, basically, right? To equal true. We should have bookings. We do. Okay, so now if we say add days 4, and we call that start, and we can say start add days 2, this should be false in theory. And it is. Set test now. Okay, so I've not really used those test functions. Okay. And engine available between start is now. I always end up having a crazy moment with my keyboard. So start of day, end, now, add days 2, to be bool. It's going to come back as false. All good. But what we also want to do, we want to add an additional one and say that, okay, so we want to do an available between where the start is now add 1 day and the end is going to be now add days 3. So basically it starts part way through and then it's going to happen afterwards. So this, again, should be bool, but it should also come back as false. This is what we want to check. And it worked. Perfect. So everything's working as I expected it. Nothing worse than tests that use now without setting the current date and time. Oh yeah, I don't typically use add hours. I do days because it's simpler, but I do get your point. Let's do a before each. Let's do a quick carbon. Let's test now. And that is going to be, I don't know, 2024, 10/12, just as someone suggested. And let's just fix all of that. Yep. And we're just going to import that first. Okay. So before all, we're just going to do that. Yeah, I typically do it in days, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. So we've tested that so far. That booking isn't actually needed. So I still need that room. All good, all good, all good. So to me, that engine should be working as expected for checking the availability. For this room, check between these dates and those dates. Next up, booking this room. Public function book. So we are going to have a room already. So what we actually need to do is get that user's ID. And that's all we're going to do for now. Just book for this user. So come back over to this engine here. What we're going to do is just collapse that for now. And public function book. Ooh. Bring user. Right, one thing that's going to bother me. I want the database manager pulled in just in case I need to do any writing to the database, like I will do here. So this database transaction. Now we're going to attempt this 3 times, and the callback is going to be why is this complaining? Oh, probably haven't got a comma. So booking query create. So for this booking, what do we need? We need status, cost, room, user, starts at, ends at. So we've already got the room. So we can say that the room ID is this room ID. We know that much. Why is that complaining? Transaction, oh, attempts. There we go. the user ID is the user that we passed in. We're also going to want to pull in that start and end. Book it for those dates. So we're going to have the starts at, ends at. So far, so good. This should return a booking model. Come back to here, and we will also add that. So we want to create a new booking for this room for that user between these two dates. Now the cost. I'm pretty sure the room has the daily rate and weekly rate. So what we need to do is calculate how long this is for. So this could be a booking engine feature. For now, I'm just going to do that, and we're going to come down to our engine contract and say public function cost start and end, going to return an int. Got to return an int basically. So grab this, come back to our engine, and let's work on this. So length is start diff in days and end. So if length is greater, is that greater than, I can never remember, greater than or equal to 7, then we want to basically return this room weekly rate times by length. Keeping it simple for now. Otherwise, return this room daily rate times by length. For now, I'm going to keep it simple like that. So I can come back up to here and say this cost, the start is start and the end is end. Now, booking, we also need status. So every booking starts with a specific status. Let's go have a look at what this is cast as. Booking status. So booking status pending. This is a pending booking at this point. So we're saying create a new booking that is pending. It's going to cost this much for this room, for this user. Starts then, ends then. And that's it. We're doing checks here. So that's a weekly rate. We probably want to expand upon this. So I'm going to add a quick to-do. Expand this to calculate things properly. Because what we might have is actually the length is for 1 week and 3 days, for example. In which case, that length is going to be slightly different. That's going to be okay, so we did that wrong to start with anyway, right? So length is going to be length divided by 7, maybe, I think. So if it's 7 days, that'll equal to 1, and it'll be 1 weekly rate. But this could end up coming back as a float, which we don't want, but we're going to have to. Hate floats. Floats suck. Never use a float ever. Float, there we go, which means that a booking cost needs to be updated to be potential float. Maybe we could turn that into a money cast in a little while. So let's come back down to this booking engine and let's start testing this to see if we're going in the right direction. It can book a room between certain dates. So expect booking query count to equal nothing. Make sure we're at the right state as we begin our test. We should be, but I do like to check. Now, engine is equal to new engine, and the room is going to be a new room. Let's just grab that room and put it up the top. Swap that for the room. Database manager. A bit like that for now, just to be simple. Right, okay, so we've got our engine at this point. Let's make sure we haven't broken anything. Ooh, my wife brought me a coffee. I like it. Ooh, what did I do? Too few arguments to that. I broke something. Okay, so what we'll do instead is we will resolve the engine and allow the container to do its magic. Too many buttons. There we go. Okay, so too few arguments to engine construct, 1 passed in, booking engine. Okay, so we also need to come up to our previous test and do that. Still failing, so that false match is expected true. Okay, so now that's failing for some reason. Oh, why are you doing it to me? Why is that suddenly causing an issue? Okay, so if I remove that database part there, we will ignore the transaction for now, because in reality, I'm going to dispatch this to a background job. Let's be honest. We're going to do this properly. And we're just going to return that. That's all good. That's all good. It's going to undo that. And undo that. And just remove that. And now we're happy. Okay, so now test again. Perfect. So we're getting somewhere. So don't know why using that database manager just caused an issue. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so it can create a new booking. So we want to say engine book the user. Now, the room factory will eventually make like a user anyway, but what we'll do is we'll just create our own user. No, not a curl user. That one, and create. And we're just going to create a random user just for this. So, user ID, start, now, have 1 day. We're going to book it for tomorrow. And we're going to say, we're going to book it for 5 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever, one of those. So that should book something. And now we expect there to be a booking in the database. See what happens. Okay, so it actually worked. Surprised me. Hello, Benjamin. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the usual. Wow, I'm so. Right, it's going to have a quick sip of coffee and we'll get back to this booking engine. Okie dokie dokie dokie. Right, okay, so we can book between certain dates. That's okay. The cost, we want to figure this out. Okay. So this will be a booking. Now we're doing it for 4 days, right? So what we want to do is and booking cost to be integer. We want this to equal 4 times room cost, basically, right? The room, is it cost? Daily rate. 4 times the daily rate. Now, run it again. Something went wrong. Right, okay, so add 1 day. Okay, is that coming through as 5 for some reason? This is strange. Okay. Let's have a look. Is there a nice way to do this? Let's say something like interval is equal to carbon interval create. That takes years, months, weeks, days, hours. Okay, so days 4. But now I'm just going to quickly dime dump on that interval and see what it gives me. He's giving me a carbon object, which is an interval. From string days, false. 4 days, start date. Can I set a start date? I've not used carbon intervals yet, so let's do a carbon nest bot. I'd suggest explicitly setting a cost on your room and certain that the correct cost is expected back. Okay, so let's try that quickly. That might be more sensible. So room, and we're going to set the daily rate to be equal to 1. Keep it simple, right? Let's delete that interval for now. So we're going to expect this to equal 4 because we are booking for 4 days. See, how is that coming through like that? Passed in room, diff in days. Let's dime dump on that lengths just to make sure it's coming back as what I expect it to be. No, it's not. It's coming back as this. So what we will do is we're going to, it's like a number format to decimal place. So the number is that, the decimals is 0. So simplify that. Now let's make sure that's coming back as 4. It is 4. Perfect. So now we've got that in place. Guessing it's this. I always get, yeah, there we go. I always get less than and greater than, the wrong way around. Okay, so we did it. Oh, okay, so it can book a room between certain dates, less than 1 week. Now we kind of want to do the weekly rate, right? Test that it can book a room between certain dates for more than 1 week. And what we're going to do is pretty much a lot of the same. However, the weekly rate is going to be 10. Non-book, add day. No, we're just going to say now. And then we're going to add days of 10 days. That's more than a week. We've got 1, and we're going to expect 10 times 10 to be 100. No, 14. 10 days. So what this is doing is that'll come through as 10 divided by 7, which is 10 divided by 7, which is 1.4. That kind of makes sense. So we're going to do like a 1.4 times by 10. So we can do like a 10 times 1.4. See what that does. That should, in theory, be right. Yeah. So because it's 10 days, this 1.4, we can actually change to 10 divided by 7. And that should still pass. And it's failing. 14. Okay, so then what we want to do is number format that. One decimal place. There we go. Okay. So that kind of works. I may have forced the tests a little bit there, so I might need to be a little bit stricter on some things, but we'll come back to it, I think. So, next step. We've figured out we can do the cost, book, and all of that, except payment for booking. No, that should be a payment service, which we will work on next time. But we know that we can check availability, book a room, and get a cost for a room. So we can calculate cost to fly, which is pretty cool. What we now want to do is move the booking to the background. Right, okay, so this engine, what we're going to want to do is create a new job. Make a job and reservations create new booking. So here, what we want to do is dispatch create new booking. This create new booking will need to accept the user start and end as well. So pretty much that. We're just kind of proxying it right now. Get rid of that. Ooh. Wrong one. There we go. And what these can be is public read only, and public read only. Fix that file, and away we go. Right. So now we can, in here, for now, we're just going to do this. We also need to make sure we pass through the room. We also want to pass through the cost. So user is user, start is start, and end is end. The room is this room, and the cost is this cost. Start, end, end. So let's add all of that in now. So public read only room, public read only int float cost. That should now be okay, and just fix all of that up. So this just dispatches a job, but let's see what our tests are doing. That's not returning, which is fine, because what we can do instead of doing that is say booking query first, because we only want to create one. Okay, call to undefined method, create new booking cost. Create new booking. Okay, this start. Oh, no, we can just say this cost, can't we? Perfect. More coffee needed. Then this start and this end. That's how we're creating our booking. Test it again. Still failing. Okay, do return value. Okay, so back to the engine. We are going to say that this is a void return because we don't actually want to return anything. Delete that and delete that. Make sure we don't need anything there. Perfect. We can remove that. Test it again. Tempting to read property cost on null. Okay, so we're dispatching it. That should be running in sync. So we've got that. Booking query first cost to be an integer and do that. Okay, so that should in theory be working. What am I missing, people? Other than coffee. Coffee solves most problems, let's be honest. Right, okay, so let's just maybe grab that and just die and dump it quickly. Is there a... There is a DB method, perfect. 14. Random, thank you. Okay, so maybe not there. That is returning 14. This is down dump on that. And we've got select all from bookings. And cost to be int to equal that. Let's try it that way. Still attempting to read property cost on null. What is darn well going on here? Something up here. Booking cost. This. It wasn't what I was doing at all. So I can say booking query latest first cost. Or just do it the same as I did on the other one. Cost to be int to equal. Right, test it again. There we go. We got there. Right, so we've dispatched a job. Now, our next test, basically. Now, I know we've kind of proven that it is being dispatched, but we want to also write a test for it. It will dispatch the create new booking job. So let's just say we're just going to do this, and that. So we want to basically fake the bus, and we will just simplify that, drop that in. Now we can say assert dispatched. Now the arguments for this are the command. So create new booking class. Now, if you've noticed, my namespace for this is reservations, and it's so that I can refactor things later. And remove that. So what we can also do is have a callback and callback. What we want to do is this gets a job. So create new booking job. And what we can do is expect job room to equal room ID, something like that. Just make sure it's, getting the correct information. Test. No. Huh? What? Oh, wait, no. Room. Job room ID. Let's just, check the IDs. There we go. So we are good. We know that this is working. So we're expecting that to equal this. And let's just chain it. And job user to equal user ID and start job start to equal. This may fail because it might have seconds difference. Yep. So let's just say that start is that and end is that. So that we're kind of freezing time to equal start and job end to equal end and job cost to equal, where are we getting that cost? To do weekly rate from there. This is a weekly rate to equal that. Cool. Now let's just run it and see. Try it and see. No, we failed. Okay, failed asserting that. That is that. So if we just drop that number format, it should be the same thing. Try again, and we're good. So we know that our job is doing what it needs to do. So that booking engine works for what we need it to. So we can close that off, go to the room, do this, do that. There we go. So we've got a very basic booking engine in place. And what we want to do is be able to kind of is booked. It should, I don't know, send an email. It should do several different things. Make a mail. Have I got, there we go. So let's, there we go. Reservations. And what we're going to do is we're going to create this as class name. Coming up with names is the hardest part of this, isn't it? Right. So booking is pending. Something like that, right? Created successfully. Let's see if that created the email that I wanted to. No, it didn't. Okay, so let me remove that mail. Technically, that could be a notification, but I'm going to stick with a mail because I just want it to be reservations dot booking pending. There we go. Let's see if that did what I wanted it to. Emails, reservations, booking pending. Perfect. Your booking has been submitted. We have sent your booking to the team to confirm all details. You should hear something within 2 working days. Something really, really kind of simple. Right, then mail booking pending. What we want to do is just clear all of this up. Right, so this booking is pending, needs to receive something, and it will render something else. Right, so what we want is get the booking there. Your stay at Tranquil Stay is pending confirmation. Something silly or simple like that, right? So then we got all of that. Attachments, we don't actually need any attachments, so we can just remove that. That'll do all that. That's all good. Booking is pending. Email. We have sent your booking to the team. We don't actually need to pass anything into the constructor because we don't need any data. We just need to send it nice and easily, right? So we can remove that. So we've got an envelope and a content, and that is all we need. So the best way to do this, I think, is going to be an observer. So when a booking is created, we want to send an email. We're going to want to do a couple of different things. So let's start by making an observer. We're going to make a booking observer for a booking. So if we come to the booking observer, and we're going to just focus in on this to start with. So what we want to do is basically just fire an event and have listeners. So this event will return events. This will give us some form of event dispatcher, I believe. Let's see if we can inject something instead. Public, I prefer injecting these things. Public function, construct, private, read-only, dispatcher, events, dispatcher. This dispatcher, dispatch, and the event is going to be something or other. Event, payload, halt, stuff. Keep it like that for now. Do that and do that. So now we want to go and make some events. Events, reservations. Now there is defining events and listeners. That's that. That's that. I don't think you need to register them anywhere now, right? Closure listeners, generating events, make event and make a listener. Okay, so let's use a command line. So make an event. This event is reservations. Booking was created. Make listener reservations. Let's just check booking, and I believe it was the owner. User, yeah. Email user confirming booking, and the event is reservations. Booking was created. Perfect. That should do its job. Right. Booking was created. Now we don't actually do too much with this. We just want to say that our public read-only booking. Don't need to broadcast anything right now. Maybe we'll broadcast later using reverb or something, but we'll figure that one out. Right, listeners, reservations, and email. Fix all of that up. We don't need anything in the constructor right now. Booking was created. We want to do mail using the mail facade. Now this will resolve the mail manager. Let's see if we can just pull in the private read-only mail manager as mail. I do like to use dependency injection where possible, if I'm honest. So what we can do, this mail, you want to send a new booking was, right, booking is pending to event booking user email, send that. And that should be it. Right. Booking was created. That does that. We need to add the observer on here. So observed by booking observer. Awesome. All right. Let's run our test suite and make sure I haven't broken anything quickly. All good. Right. Okay. So now what we want to do is, I think I'd lined everything up right. Booking observer, the event, new booking was created, and the booking is the booking. That's all we want to do. Just dispatch that event and allow everything else to just do its job. Now the listener can actually be queued. So registering events, event discovery will also automatically do stuff. That's what we want. With events, no. Manually registering events, closure listeners, defining events, defining listeners, queuing event listeners, implements should queue. That is what we want. So this will then should queue. I think, is that it? That's it. Okay, cool. So you don't even need the handler anymore. That's really cool. Manually interacts with queue, handle. Okay. Not something I need right now. Okay, so let's come back to the test. Down here, feature booking engine, because this is all part of like the booking engine, really. So test. An event is fired when the booking is created. So we want to do fake the event. Do exactly the same as what we did do, which is all of this. And then just kind of event assert dispatched, and the event is create new booking class. Don't need to check anything because it doesn't have any arguments. There's a test. Error, and it failed. Ooh, jobs, create new booking, wrong thing. Okay, so the event was called booking was created. Now let's test it again. Still failing. Okay, so why was that not triggered? At this point, we do expect booking query count to equal 1. Let's make sure that does it. Yes. Maybe I need to also do a mail fake, just in case it's falling over somewhere along those lines. No, it's failing to see that the booking event was not dispatched. If I remove the fake, will it catch it? Argument mail must be of fakes mail fake. Okay, so the listener is getting this mail manager, which isn't what we are getting. Okay. So maybe we just have to use a mail facade here. Mail to drop the constructor, remove that, and try again. Method dispatch, assert dispatched. Let's see what's going on. Is it anything to do with what I'm doing? I don't know why that's not working. Okay, so we'll try a email is sent when the booking is created. So instead of doing that, we'll do something like mail assert queued mailable is booking is pending. Let's try that. Is that working? So that's still not working either. Mailable was not queued. Why is this happening, I wonder? Is it something to do with my environment? Have I just broken everything? So mailer is an array. Queue connection is sync. Anything to do with events? No. Oh, I cannot, for the life of me, figure this one out. Assert sent, maybe? Yeah, okay, so it's not queuing because it's syncing. Weird. Okay, so maybe that will do. I think that'll do, right? That kind of shows it works. Although I'm confused why that event assertion wasn't working. And it's really going to bug me. Testing, mocking facades, should receive, blah, blah, blah. There's got to be something somewhere. Testing, faking tests, assert dispatched. So I don't know why that's not happening. Unless, oh, I think I figured it out. So we're going to add another one. Test. An event is fired when the booking is created. I think I have figured it out. So event fake, and we are going to fake a specific event, because what's probably happening is it's faking all events, not just the one I want. So if I now do that and say event assert dispatched, and the event is a new booking was created. No, this is a class. Let's try that again. And there we go. So what the event fake was doing, figured it out. The event fake is faking all events, which means that the eloquent event to trigger the observer was being faked and not actually triggering the observed event. Wow, what a pickle. That should definitely be written somewhere, right? Okay, so we can book things, we can check availability, and we can calculate cost. That is, yeah, if you ask me, pretty successful stream. So what I'm going to do is probably call it a day there. Probably got some more work I need to get done. So I want to say thank you very much. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, you know, the usual stuff that you do on live streams. Go do that. Make me feel like I'm not wasting my time. I'm going to push all of this up to GitHub. In the comments. I'm not used to typing on my laptop, so Tranquil Stay. Is this the right URL? Yes, it is. I'm just going to drop the link in and show it quickly. You can go check out the code. I'm going to just quickly push for all of this up. So git add, git commit. This is a feature booking engine. I'm just going to push all of that up. There you go. So all of that should be up on GitHub for you. Go check it out. If you want to drop a PR, feel free. Why not? It's fun. But thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you want to see me. Let me know what you want to see me do next time. Is it payments? Is it the admin? Is it the management of your bookings? If I don't hear anything, I'll have a think and I'll schedule something. But let me know. Again, thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all of that stuff that you usually do. And look out for the next one. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day and take care.